Hello, this is Lord Puck of the House Puck, and I just want to talk a little bit about KD versus playing the freaking objective. There's been a lot of complaints on the forums about players who just sit and spawn camp or just sit back with vehicle tokens and just rack up kills and pad their KD. Well, this is not always the case. Granted, there are a lot of players who do this, but it is part of their play style. It has nothing to do with them wanting to pad stats. Yes, there is a small minority of players who do nothing but padding stats by doing these things all day long. They will refuse to do anything. They refuse to help their team. They don't care if they win or lose. They pad their stats to get a higher kill-to-death ratio. But that is not the case with everyone. The vast majority of players are playing to their strengths and weaknesses. They are playing to have fun their way. As you notice in this video, I just basically killed a transport. Almost dead. Went after the objective. I'm a usually fairly high KD player, but I also play the objective, which means I usually get 400 or 500 points done to the transports, which means MVP at the end of most games. This particular game, I did not get MVP, but I wasn't too worried about that. This is just mainly a warm-up game while I was waiting for some friends to pop on to play some Fighter Squadron. So my kills and deaths aren't exactly the greatest. Right here, you'll see, here's a good example of me just going after a Rebel X-Wing just because it was in my way, but it was quite easy to break his shields. Shields are not a problem in Fighter Squadron, and just the Rebel maneuverability. Quite easy to break shields. But back to my original point of KD versus objective. It just doesn't make sense, because no matter what a developer does, players will never be happy about this particular situation. If a developer decreases points for kills, players will still go for kills in objective-based modes. It's not because they're specifically going for kills, although there are, as I said, there are a small minority that only go for kills. It's because they want to play their way. Even in Battlefield 1, where they have significantly, and I mean significantly reduced kill points, you will still have players going for nothing but kills. They will use vehicles, they will use snipers, and they will just sit back and go for kills. There's nothing wrong with that. Jack Frags, Matimio, Level Cap have all mentioned that there's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is the community. The community doesn't like it. And don't misunderstand me, but that's just something that the community has to live with. It's literally impossible for devs to fix this situation. Players want to play and have fun. There's nothing to do about it. Here's another example of me taking out a player with shields quite easily. Excuse me. But there's nothing that developers can do about KD versus playing the objective. It's physically impossible to please all of the players, because you are creating and playing a game. A game. Something that players do for fun. This is not a competitive game. Although it would be nice if there were some competitive options, but this game was built for fun. It was built so that people can play how they want, almost any way they want. So I'm not sure how you can fix that other than to completely remove kills. But then if you remove kills, what's the point of playing a kill-based game? And I don't just mean Fighter Squadron or Blast. I mean a game, because literally all you're doing is running towards the objective and just looking at each other if you don't.